talk about retargeting and remarketing. Yay! Which is...
You don't want my shorts?
No.
Yeah.
No, Kyle, I do not want your shorts. Hey everybody, this is Pamela.
And this is Kyle.
Welcome to Mammoth TV. This episode is all about retargeting and remarketing. We're going to cover the basics. We're going to go into the drawbacks and the advantages of each, what they are, and how to set them up. So let's get started. We're going to start out with a definition. So Kyle, what is retargeting? What is remarketing? They sound like the same thing to me. I'm not sure. I need you to explain this.
Awesome. I can't wait. Retargeting is prospecting, and remarketing is after you've already gotten someone's details, like an email address, and you're re-engaging with either people in your pipeline down the funnel or existing customers. Okay. But both use the re to say that we're talking to people who've already touched our brand in some way or the other.
Right.
Yep.
So it sounds like we're talking to them at different points in the sales cycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So instead of, we've talked up to this point a lot about top of funnel marketing, segmentation, data, prospecting, things like that. Today we want to talk about, okay, now you're getting traffic to your website. How do you increase conversions, and what are these tools that we've heard of called retargeting and remarketing? And I think retargeting is a top tool to increase conversions if you're now getting traffic to your website.
So
that's what it is.
Yeah, but let's define it a little bit more detailed.
Right.
So when for instance, I shop at westelm.com. You know, I'm looking for some new furniture for my place, and I see some couches I like.
Yep.
And the next thing I know, I'm on a completely unregulated site. I'm on Facebook or some other site, and I see, guess what? An ad for for the couch that I was looking at.
The exact one.
Is that retargeting?
That is.
Okay.
That's very systematic with e-commerce. It's typically called programmatic. That's one now that's very scalable. You can get a feed of products on an e-commerce site, feed it into social, into Facebook, and say, I want to dynamically create ads with images from e-commerce based on pages and products that people visit. We're actually doing that for a Ford dealer in South Georgia right now. And if you go view a vehicle on his site, you will very quickly see, next time you go to Facebook, you will probably see his ad at the very tippy top saying,
look out for that.
There's that vehicle. You want it.
Right.
Don't forget, we're creepy. But it's proven to increase conversions because, as you said, it keeps you top of mind.
Right. So basically, retargeting is a way to say, hey, you were looking at our site, or you were maybe searching for these terms, which we'll get into in a minute.
Yep.
Hey, we exist. Don't forget us. So that's kind of the way retargeting works.
It is. Yeah. Once you've gotten over the prospecting, you've gotten someone to your site. You've heard of cookies, tracking pixels.
Yes.
These are really the same thing. We put code on your website, or we get code from either Google or Facebook or whatever you're doing the retargeting, and it tells them who's visited the website. It follows you around, and it helps them serve those ads back to you wherever you go.
Got it. Okay.
And that's what's in the privacy policy of all these websites that we don't read.
Yeah.
It's all the term saying we're collecting this data on you and you're accepting this by clicking this button.
Yeah.
You're basically saying it's okay to do retargeting to me.
Yeah.
We can talk about real quickly a way around that. But
sure. Yeah.
That's just for your own personal use, and it will help anyone doing this understand that it doesn't work on everybody's machine. Have you heard of the Chrome browser and the incognito function?
Yes, I use that quite a bit.
Me too. I use it two reasons. One, personally, I don't want all my stuff sometimes I don't want to be remarketed to.
Yeah.
And so I can remember to go incognito, and that stops the cookies from collecting.
Yes. Yeah.
The other thing is when I'm on my own customers' websites, I don't want to cloud their data with my traffic because I'm on it so frequently.
Right.
And I don't want to waste their ad money with me seeing their ads when it should be shown to real customers and not employees.
Got it. Okay. So that's retargeting.
Mm-hmm.
So what about remarketing?
So remarketing is you've gained someone's email address and you're starting to send emails based on where they are in the funnel or the customer life cycle. Mm-hmm. So really remarketing is trying to get more out of people you've already gotten their details, and you're trying to say, hey, spend more money or come back out. You bought something from West Elm and they know that you visited the website and they're going to use email to get back to you instead of display ads and things like that.
So remarketing then, let me see if I can restate this, is when someone has already engaged on your site, they're toward the bottom of the sales funnel and they've given you their email and it's all email based, correct?
Pretty much, yes.
I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in, because people call remarketing the display ads, which is not technically correct. They sound very similar, but remarketing is all about email. It's email specific.
Pretty much. You know, we could get into nuance here. Yeah. I think of it from the word of, are you targeting someone that you've not talked to before, or are you marketing to someone you may have already closed a deal with, or at least you know specifically who they are based on their PII, personally identifying information. Cookies are for targeting. Yes. And emails are for marketing. Targeting is part of marketing, but just knowing these terms, if you've already identified exactly who they are, I would consider that remarketing, whether it's email or something else. But for all practical purposes, let's just keep it.
I'm a stickler for details. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a few types of retargeting. So let's go back to retargeting. We've explained the differences. And there are a few types. There's actually more than a few types of retargeting, but we're going to focus on 3 today. The first is Google, second is Facebook, and third is display.
Yeah.
Almost forgot that one.
When you say Google, let's be specific, it's search.
Search, yes. So not necessarily just Google.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's talk about search.
We're talking about these in the order of how they were likely to convert for you.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean the volume is as high. But the conversion rate is higher. The likeliness of it working, if used, is greater. And everybody has their own mix. But if someone were to Google Atlanta video production and click on Pamela's website and look at her services and say, okay, I'm interested in this, and then go search a bunch of other sites and click on them. The next, if you are just doing research, the first visits, and then you make a short list, and whether Pamela's on it or not, the next time the person goes and searches for video production or Atlanta video production or any of the keywords Pamela is targeted, because you went to the site once, she can set up AdWords to retarget you based on the fact you've already been there and she wants to stay front of mind.
Right.
So in AdWords or any search ads, you can set a parameter that says, if they have my retargeting pixel or my cookie, I want to bid more for the second visit. And that way I will show up higher or at the top. Okay, so we covered search.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the next one, which is Facebook? And remember I mentioned that search may or may not have the most volume, but it may have the highest conversion rate.
Highest efficacy, yeah.
I want to talk about Facebook a lot because I think it has the biggest opportunity. I think when you're looking at Facebook, there's a lot of traffic there. There's a lot of usage. I think there's a lot more people who come to your website that you can market to on Facebook over people who are on your site and searching the same words the next time. So while Google has a higher conversion rate, think about this. You come to, you Googled Atlanta video production and you got to Pamela's site. And the next time you're on Facebook, before you even start doing your second round of research and Googling, you open up Facebook at 7 to 9 p.m. at night, prime time, your second screen syndrome, you're thumbing through it while TV's on. The first ad you get, which is typically the second thing in your feed, is Pamela. You know, look, I do video production and here's my sponsored post. And there's some text about it. You can click and still go to her site or not. That is Facebook retargeting.
Okay.
And
you can configure that in your Facebook ads account, or how do you, just out of curiosity?
So I get asked this a lot. People say, why do I need to hire Mammoth Solutions when I can boost my posts? You do not get retargeting tools when you boost your posts. To get all these tools, you have to have a Facebook Business Manager account. You can get that just as easy, not just as easy. You can get it free, and you can sign up and learn the Ads Manager. Where we set apart is we're already familiar with that. It's easy to get lost in.
Right,
We've taken all their blueprint courses, which is blueprint.facebook.com or something like that. And we stay up to date on those tools. Enough sales pitch for Mammoth, but if you want to do custom audience retargeting, lookalike audiences, all these sort of sophisticated tools, anything more than just boosting a post and hoping it does well, you need a proper Facebook Ad Manager, Business Manager account.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yep.
So we've got Facebook.
I think it's the biggest opportunity because there's so many people on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. And they're there constantly. I mean, I go to other sites periodically, but I have a few sites that are always open. One is my email, one is Facebook. I hate to admit that, but it's true.
No.
So, they're always on, and it's a great opportunity for you.
Can I touch on that always on thing?
Yeah.
That's why it works so well as well.
Yeah.
Not just because it's there. When it's on in another window in your browser, it's tracking everything you're doing on the other tabs.
That's true.
And when it's on your phone, it's tracking not just what you do on Facebook. It is reading your text messages, is listening to your phone calls, not to scare everybody, but it knows everything you're doing.
Right.
And that's why it's such data-rich targeting.
All right, so the third one is display. And so this to me sounds a little bit confusing because aren't all of these ads display or aren't they?
Technically, they're not. So just to give you a little more context and sophistication about what ads are, Google was a text ad. Yeah, when you search something on Google, those are not technically display ads. They are search ads, and they're written in text, and that's just about it. So we call them text ads. Facebook's a hybrid. It is typically a sponsored post or video or something like that. It has a mix of text at the blurb, the top of the post. It has text you can control under the image or the video, and it actually has the image or video if you use one. Yeah,
and you can't have too much text in your image, actually.
No, you can. Yes, they will ban your ad if it breaks what's called the 80-20 rule. It needs to be 80% image and only 20% text.
And I've had that happen, so it's real.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so display.
So display is just the image. And there's another reason to do it third. It's like a rite of passage. If you're a small business owner or you're a startup or something like that, great to start with text ads as kind of a first step because you start really thinking about what you need to be saying and doing to get engagement.
Right, your copy, yeah.
Once you've mastered your copy, you can start finding the creative and the images to complement that, and the pages from your website that you're driving traffic to on search, you can leverage in Facebook and build on top of that.
Okay.
Once you've done those, you're getting more sophisticated down that journey in the ability to match images and text and calls to action. And hopefully you've got the ability at that point to say, how do I reduce what was in a big Google text ad to like a tagline?
Yeah.
What's working and what's not. The last thing you want to do is go straight into display, throw a bunch of money in, and not have your taglines as things that you know resonate already because you'll just waste money and you'll say, oh, I don't want to do this. So that's how we onboard people. We tend to go in a boot camp.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it kind of increases their knowledge as you go as well. But as far as display goes, it sounds to me like display can be anywhere. You're just talking about the specific type of...
Sure. You can do... we typically do a display campaign where we choose targets and we say we want to show on these types of websites to these types of people in this geographic area.
So it's beyond just Facebook.
Yep.
It's display graphic ads, but where you choose to show them.
So yeah, but to go back to retargeting, so let's say I've got two campaigns in my display strategy.
Yep.
One is just proactively prospecting with no retargeting. I want to make sure all these websites and things have my ads, whether somebody's been to my website or not.
Right.
And then I want to have a retargeting campaign that says, okay, now you've been to my website. I don't care what website it is. Once you've been here, then as you browse around the internet, not on Facebook, not anywhere else, I want anyone who's using Google or whatever my ad platform is to show my ads to you.
Got it.
And that really can increase conversions because, again, that subtle reinforcement can keep you front of mind, which is a perfect segue into...
into the drawbacks
yes.
of retargeting.
Yeah.
And we've kind of touched on them a little bit, but one of the drawbacks is that people get annoyed at these ads. They can be creepy.
Totally.
I kind of get creeped out when I see West Elm all over the place after I've shopped on their website. And I guess maybe because I'm just used to the technology, it doesn't bother me so much, but I do get annoyed. And that is one of the drawbacks. You're going to have to use these ads, I don't want to say judiciously, but maybe that is a good word. I think it was, the statistic is after somebody sees the same ad for like 3 times?
3 times, they start to get annoyed.
The negative effects start kicking in.
At 7, Facebook will turn off your engagement with them completely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They start dropping the frequency very quickly at 2.
Yep.
And the third one means that they you either have a big budget, and you're just annoying, or you're not updating the creative fast enough. So you can use these to either cut down your spend, cut down your targeting, or change the frequency of the creative.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's just the same ad over and over, and you don't mind the brand, you just don't want to see the same messaging over and over.
Right. And the other drawback is that these are hard to measure. Somebody may see your ad, but they may not interact with it. But does that still keep your brand top of mind? It may, if it's not annoying them. So it's really hard to measure the results exactly like you can with remarketing, which we'll get to in a minute. Those are the drawbacks, but there are some key takeaways here. Retargeting can work well if used well, if used, not too often, or you change your display often enough that you're not just annoying people with the same exact messaging over and over. It can increase your click-through, and it keeps your brand top of mind.
So now that we've talked about retargeting channels, strategies, I know you wanted to bring up some tools, and I wanted to bring some balance to the conversation and talk about maybe some of the things that we shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Let's not just rush out there and go over-configure anything. I think we need to realize all of your marketing channels, or your marketing mix is unique, and you need to see how this fits into your marketing mix. And when it changes your conversion rate on one channel, it may be complementing other channels as well. So look at the whole picture.
Right, yeah. Yep. That's a good point.
Watch your metrics as they change and other things as you add this. You may be able to do less AdWords with a higher conversion rate, or Facebook may affect AdWords and things like that. The other caveat is what we call the cookie monster. Put it on your thank you page, a conversion pixel that says exclude me from remarketing. I think you talked about West Elm a lot.
Yeah.
Let's say you did buy the couch online, or you went in store and bought it and they collected your email address.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of tools that say, now that there's been a conversion, please take them out of my marketing because no one likes an annoying salesman who doesn't stop selling.
Yeah.
So those are the main 2 things I would say to think about if you're rushing out there and saying, this is great for me, I can't wait to try it.
The fact is that retargeting is a great tool for the research phase of the buying process.
Absolutely.
So, my West Elm example, the Atlanta video production example, I'm going to be shopping around for a couch or whatever else I need to buy for this place. And if you're using retargeting, you'll keep your brand in the top of my mind as long as you're using it well.
Yep, and that works.
Yeah. So just to wrap up retargeting, we do have some tools that we can mention that you can check out. One is just Google AdWords Retargeter, and then there's AdRoll, and you mentioned a couple of others.
Yep, Perfect Audience and Retargeter.
Yeah, so check those out and leave us a comment, actually, if you use those, or if you do check them out and you start using them, what you think, if they are effective, are they helping you? So let's move on to remarketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we've targeted people and they're in our funnel. We have some personally identifying information like an email address and we want to engage them. Yeah. I think you can probably speak from experience on this about what works when you're buying couches and things like that,
Yes.
or Etsy, or you're using a shopping cart. I think there's 3 situations we really wanted to talk about with this.
Yeah.
You want to go for it?
Yeah. So remarketing. I know I'm gonna say retargeting.
Yeah, we both
segment,
will.
But remarketing. So it's very email specific, first of all, and there are times when it is the most effective and most appropriate. So the first of those is when a product that appeals to this customer's tastes, like couches for me or whatever it may be, when those go on sale and you follow up with an email to the potential customer or the customer, you already know that I like these types of things or that I'm looking for these types of things. So when they go on sale, I'm going to appreciate hearing about that. Another instance where remarketing is very effective is if I'm a VIP. So I think you can that could happen any number of ways. Maybe I'm part of a points program and I've reached 10,000 points, or maybe just signing up for your email is enough to get me on the VIP list. Either way, I've opted in and I want to know about the special offers that go along with being your VIP. Perfect timing.
Back to remarketing.
Yeah. And the third type of interaction that is very effective for remarketing is for cart abandonment. Now, there's a specific restriction around this one, however. Say I'm buying that couch on West Elm's website and I've gotten over the annoyance of seeing their display ads, 50 times, but I really like this couch and I put it in my cart. I'm ready to check out, but I don't check out. So I've abandoned the cart. It's very effective if you send a follow-up email saying, hey, you have something in your cart, and hey, if you buy this, maybe we'll offer you some extra deal or other if you go buy it now.
Yep.
Now the caveat with this is that the statistics show that doing this cart abandonment reminder is very effective within the first hour. After an hour, it drops off really significantly the amount of return on that, I guess.
The conversion rate.
Yeah, the conversion rate. Thank you, Kyle. I'm a little tongue-tied today.
Tongue-tied today.
Yes. Say that 50 times fast. So yeah, the amount of conversion that you will get after an hour goes down significantly. So if you're going to do these cart abandonment emails, then time is of the essence. So you need to do them within the first hour or as close as you can get to that.
Yeah, this just reminded me of something some guys in town created. 360i, they're the leading digital agency in the universe.
Yeah.
I just went to a data class of theirs that they hosted on data science and the things they've created. They created something called the P3 in-house, the product purchasing predictor. You gotta love it when geeks are in charge of naming things.
Purchasing predictor.
Yeah. Remarketing, to complement this conversation, is about CRM data. Yeah, you've got somebody in your system, you know their preferences. Their P3 can crawl your CRM and create ads with an 80% conversion rate on what your next purchase is going to be.
Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Insane.
Oh, that is kind of insane.
Insane. And they're taking
the predictor part of
They created the algorithm. They crawl your data and they look at it. If you've got enough, you can't do this as a mom and pop shop. You don't have enough volume and data to crawl to make statistical references.
Right.
The question I asked at the end of that was, do you believe you're accurately predicting consumer behavior, or you're so good at marketing and we're such suckers that we will just buy whatever you put in front of us?
Maybe both.
And he said, I think it's a lot of both.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a big shopper guy, so he was like, I'm making money off of this, but I'm not.
That's amazing.
I don't necessarily need to increase consumerism, but we'll save that for another video.
Yeah, that's a different video altogether. But if you want to increase consumerism, then you need to know these things.
Yeah, these are great tools.
Okay, so some key takeaways about remarketing. So we kind of went through that really quickly, but it is very simple. I think it's pretty straightforward. Retargeting is straightforward, but there's just more to the discussion, I think. But for remarketing, again, it's very email specific. Timing is everything. And it really has a very high return on investment with people who have already shown an interest in purchasing your products. You just have to get them at the right time.
Yep.
Any other takeaways?
No, I think it's very B2C specific. There are things that you can do in the remarketing world to help with your B2B email campaigns.
Yeah.
But I think the big use cases are definitely B2C centric.
Right.
And they were VIP emails were the second one we covered.
Yeah.
Cart abandonment was the third, and I'm trying to remember the first.
The first was if something I'm interested in goes on sale.
Contextual.
Contextual, yes. Sorry, I should have said. Yeah.
No, that's what it is. I remembered it as that. Yeah, something that you've purchased before, been interested in, or looked at, goes on sale, we can push it out.
Yeah.
It's really very similar to cart abandonment.
Yeah.
Cart abandonment is I'm going to put it on sale because you didn't check. Because you're interested and you left it there.
Yeah. I've had that happen too.
Yeah.
And it's been very effective, I have to say. A couple membership things that I've been interested in, I'm like, well, do I really need this membership right now? No, I really don't. But I'm very interested, and I leave it in the cart, and then
I come back.
Yeah, like, hey, do you want 20% off?
Sure.
Okay, that made up my mind for me.
Don't make me Google coupons for West Elm, you know. I don't want that. Just hook me up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've taken advantage of that. Yeah. So it's a great, I mean, that's just my experience, but I think mine is not unique. That's a great way to hook somebody who is just teetering on the edge.
You know what, so I always find funny? When I'm shopping online, I put something in my cart because I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to go in the store and buy it.
Oh, yeah.
But I just do it as a kind of shopping list.
Yeah.
I go to the store, I buy it, and when I get home, I've got coupons. And I'm like, no!
Now, I wonder if you could print those coupons and bring them
to the store. Go back and get the deal?
Yeah,
I probably could, but I'm too busy.
So to wrap up, we have talked about retargeting, what that is, what is remarketing, the different types of retargeting, pros, cons, and timing of remarketing. So these are two very effective strategies to keep you and your brand and your products top of mind with the consumer at the top of the sales funnel, but also give them that little just nudge over the cliff if they're at the bottom of your sales funnel and they haven't purchased yet. Now, I think one thing we kind of mentioned, but I want to remind people, is that these are not mutually exclusive. They work very well together, and you should look at them together. And like Kyle says, look at these in the context of your overall marketing mix and the big picture, not just a narrow focus on one or the other. Yeah,
when you were just saying that, I had a visual. I was thinking, this is really gravity in your funnel.
Yeah.
It's pulling people in faster, further,
that's a good way to
sooner. It's increasing the frequency of purchases or reducing the time to purchase.
Yeah, great. Well, we hope that you have found this episode useful, informative, and helpful, and we hope that you'll leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, if you use any of these tools, if you use these tactics, or if you're just learning about this for the first time. We hope we've helped you, and we'd love to hear about it. So we will see you on the next episode.
See you.
For those of you that have heard footsteps, barking, and other miscellaneous noise in the background.
This monkey.
This little guy. No, she's not a guy, she's a girl.
This gal.
This little lady here is the reason.
The lady with the white beard.
Yeah, she's the mascot, and she likes to cause trouble.
Yeah.
So we just thought we'd introduce Delia.
Got to see the whole team.
Mm-hmm. She helps with the post-production, and she helps with setup, lighting, DP. She does everything.
Background noise.
Frankly, the Mammoth TV.
Biting my ankles.
This is our team right here. So yes, that's the source of the noise today.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. We'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. This is Pamela.
This is Kyle.
And we... Shit. I was going to do the...
And we shit.
I was just about to do the introduction to my other show. Holy crap. I'm sorry.